So we had just got off the field. So we're preparing for a good Georgia State team. They're coming off a win. They've got momentum. When you look at them as a whole, they're a very athletic team. When you look at them offensively, they go at hyper speed. I think they were 11th in the country last year in getting plays off, with time left on the play clock. Makes it difficult, obviously. I think their quarterback is really, really good. I think that he's a quarterback that can run, but he can run. And as we all know, we had some problems with that last week, especially when the quarterback scrambled. So that's something that we've been focused on, and we'll continue to focus on it. But this guy has a tremendous arm. He throws a great fade ball. If you're in single coverage, single high coverage, and you're up pressed, he's going to throw the fade ball. If you're off, he's going to throw the back shoulder fade, and he's very accurate with it. I think he does a tremendous job of reading coverage and knowing where to go with the ball, and that's so critical. So he can get through his progressions. He deciphers the coverage quick, and he knows where the weakness in your defense is, and that's where he goes. And I think that's one of the reasons they're so successful. Last year, I think they were 14th in the country in running the football. I think a lot of people equate an offense like this as fast. It's a team that, gets most of their yards through the air. But, they'll work hard to get you a little bit winded, catch you unready, and then pop a run on you. So they're really good. Defensively, they present a lot of problems. New coordinator trying to figure out exactly what they're doing. And, for us, I think, kind of like last week on defense, it's just trying to master what we do best. And so that's what it's all about. It always comes down to us. You prepare for your opponent all week, and then how you play on game day is a function of your mindset and that preparation that you made. So we're excited to get another opportunity to play, and it should be a good one.
Is there a certain area that you generally get to see most improvement from one week to the other, at least expect to from the first to the second week?
I will tell you that on defense, I expect us to tackle better. That was the culprit on Thursday night, is we tackled poorly, and that's not like us. Now, you can make the excuse that it's the first game, and the first game teams don't tackle well, but it's just an excuse. And excuses, they're just, as I've said, it's, you negotiating with success, and so we can't accept that. So we need to tackle better on offense. On defense. On offense, we need to stay out of third and long. We were in 3rd and 11 plus 4 times. In order to do that, you have to have more success on 1st and 2nd down, either running or throwing the ball, and you have to eliminate negative plays. I think for us, that means we have to be better running the ball first and foremost. So knowing where we're running the ball, hitting our point of aim as a running back, sustaining blocks, being on the same page, communicating and finishing, and then that opens up your pass game and your play action game, so you can get yourself into some third and manageable. And then on special teams, to me, where you need to see improvement this week is we need to kick the ball off deeper when we kick it off, and we need to cover better. And then our kick return game has to be better. We've got to win the field position battle on special teams. And then as a team, finally as a team, as we all know, you guys all saw it, eliminating those critical penalties. And you can say that some of them were questionable, but it doesn't matter, they were called, so we have to eliminate them.
After the opener, you talked about wanting to put the defense in a better position just to make plays. Mm-hmm. As you looked it through, it was more tackling than being out of position.
Yeah, and it was tackling, but I'm always very critical of myself. If they didn't tackle well, that means I didn't do a good job during the week of emphasizing it. If I don't put them in a good call and it puts them in a bad position, that's something else I look at. But ultimately, when you get out on the field, as a great defense is tackle. Great defense is tackle. They swarm and they tackle, and we missed way too many tackles. That was probably the genesis of it all. Yeah.
Are you happy with the run by committee strategy?
Yeah, I think that's how you have to do it now. I just think if you look at good teams now, the way they play, at least in college, there's usually a couple running backs and hopefully 3. I think just this day and age, it's hard for one runner to be the guy. You used to want to have that whatever they call him, the war horse or whatever. But I don't think that is the way it works anymore, and especially with our guys. Because 2 of our men are they're not the biggest guys in the world, and to ask them to go in there and take that pounding, I don't know that it's the best thing to do. So for us, the committee works best.
Coach, after watching tape, what was your assessment of the wide receivers?
5 drops. Can't drop the ball. As a receiver, your job is to catch the ball. That's your primary receiver. Their job as receiver, and we had 5 drops, so that's unacceptable. I expected better. We have to win 50-50 balls. We have to win contested throws or contested catches. When they get a hand in there, we got to find a way to catch it. I thought they blocked pretty well, but we're always looking for more there. But it's just, you know, you can't drop the ball and think you're going to have success on offense.
Jim, now that you've had a chance to look at the film, aside from the drops, what do you think you need to do to throw the ball better? What's your assessment of Joe?
I think we need to run it. It sounds so stupid to the question you asked. We need to run it better, you know, on a consistent basis. I think like this, the stats were skewed a little bit, run stats, because of Victor's run. And of course you have to count it in the stats, but if you have to look at it objectively, like when Joe scrambles and runs, to me that's not a run play. You know what I mean? It's a scramble. Victor's run, great run, but it gives you 71 additional yards. So if you go back and you look at called run plays, we're not effective as we needed to be to get ourselves in positions where we could open up the play action game a little bit, you know, or get into third and some manageable where, you know, the throws weren't down the field and they couldn't play their double cloud coverage. They were able to play that a lot because of the position we put ourselves in. So, you know, I think it all comes back to being able to run the ball, you know, to be able to throw it, you got to be able to run it.
And what goes into, you have the 3 guys who can run the ball, what goes into kind of determining who gets it? Is it situational, is it hot hand?
It's both. Yeah, I mean, there are certain plays that are for certain players. You know, everybody has things that they do better. And then it's if a guy gets hot, you know, you ride him. It's trying to recognize when they're getting a little winded, so you're getting fresh guys in there, you know, to keep the pressure on the defense. But yeah, it's kind of a combination of all of those things. I would never say it's just one specific thing. And you saw Jalen was in there for some things, you know, for maybe, you know, backside blocking or things. So they all have kind of their strengths, and you just try to get them in there in the positions where they're doing what they do best.
I know you're hitting the road now and looking forward, but when you consider the atmosphere from Thursday night, what are your takeaways? Anything stand out about the crowd, the energy, the atmosphere? And does your gut tell you that in 2 weeks fans will come back to that point?
Well, I think that it was outstanding. Our student section, first and foremost, was amazing. I mean, they had to open up extra sections for our students. So, you know, if we can keep encouraging them to be there. I thought that Dom Godey and Neil Eskins just kind of took it on this summer to make sure our marketing department was doing a great job of just pumping out information to try to get people to the game. And, you know, we felt that. And then to look in the stands and see it, you know, fairly full, and I heard there's a lot of people out in the concourses, so I don't think we ever saw everyone in their seats at once. It probably would even looked better. But that energy always helps us. Unfortunately, we didn't capitalize with a win. We're a much better football team than we were a year ago at this time. I hope people recognize that. The bottom line is we have to go out and we have to play good football and win, you know, so people want to come back. And I thought, and I'm not really paying a lot of attention to this, but between series, between quarters, just the energy, you know, it felt a little bit like a basketball game, the music, the contests on the field. I think that keeps everybody engaged. You know, that was just our marketing department and promotions doing a really good job. So just it seems like everybody did their job. And, you know, my feeling was, damn, I let them down a little bit because we didn't get a win. So, I don't want to let them down.
Jim, what makes for a good road team?
What's that?
What makes for a good road team?
Mental toughness, resilience, being able to stick to a routine and stay focused, not allowing the distractions of, you know, people coming to the hotel that are family that maybe live in the area, being able to block out that you're in a new locker room, being able to focus on the 120 yards of length of the field and the 53 yards of width of the field and the 5-yard lines between it. You know, that's what it is, and being able to block out everything else that doesn't matter. And that's a function of being mentally tough and being mature. And, you know, I think it's something you have to emphasize, you have to talk about, you have to stress. We stress routine. You know, we have a routine that we get into 24 hours before kickoff that really doesn't vary at all, whether we're at home or on the road, other than the fact that we have to get on a plane.
What about the new timing rules? A lot of coaches on the national level are complaining that maybe they lost plays. What are your thoughts about it? Did you notice any of that, the speed of the game, the pacing?
You know, it's very normal to me. I mean, I've spent most of my career at a level where they don't stop the clock clock on a first down. So I don't know any difference. I think that complaining about rules is wasted energy. The rule is the rule. Adjust. Do the best you can. I mean, focus on what matters. That's what we try to do. I'm not going to spend any time worrying about that rule because that rule's in and I can't do anything about it until next year. So it just doesn't matter to me, you know. I know that you're going to get fewer opportunities probably offensively, so you better capitalize. But that means they get fewer opportunities offensively, so you got to shut them down. So Malik, his knee. He has a slight MCL sprain. He did not practice today. He's getting closer to feeling, you know, like he could be ready. I thought that Stanley Cross did a really nice job of coming in his place and playing. You know, Stan was a converted corner that moved to safety. He's got some versatility, which I really like. But it always hurts you a little bit when a player like Malik, who's such a steady player, isn't on the field. But you can't worry about that. You just got to go on. And thank goodness, you know, we got a guy like Stan Cross who can go out and get it done at a high level.
And also Durante, going back to Atlanta on energy, there.
Yeah, as we all know. I just heard about his press conference with you guys when he said, you know, first question, or I get opening statement, then first question. It's just classic Durante. You know, I think that Durante in the 20 months since I've been here has matured an incredible amount. You know, I mean, he's obviously very passionate and full of energy, and we all respect that and love it. And nobody cares more about this, you know, this team and winning than he does. I'll be keeping tabs on him a little bit emotionally when he goes down to Atlanta. You know, I don't think that he's a guy that's going to allow distractions in. I think he's going to stay focused, and I trust that he'll play well. But I'm going to make sure that, you know, that he's not getting himself out of whack emotionally. And I haven't seen him do that in heck, a long, long time. So I don't expect him to.
Do guys who go home, do you find that happens, that they get overhyped up, or does it depend on the individual?
It depends the individual. You know, some guys are just always steady. Some guys, you know, have a tendency to maybe a little bit more up and down. It really shouldn't matter. You know, it's kind of like, you know, how do you win on the road? I mean, you know, you focus on what matters, which is, you know, what happens between the lines, getting yourself mentally right, sticking to your routine, the way you prepare at practice and meetings. But there's always, you know, we all have different personalities. So, you know, I try to recognize who is what on our football team and communicate with them in a way that, you know, hopefully helps them stay focused.
What made you want to bring in Noah Plack, and what did you think of his first game?
I love his athleticism and his versatility combined with his size. So he's a, you know, pretty big player who can run. I like that he was kind of the position he played. It was kind of a rover, you know, so it was a combination linebacker, safety. Felt like he could transition up closer to the line of scrimmage and play safety. I think you're just going to continue to see him get better as he gets more comfortable being closer to the line of scrimmage. You know, the closer you are to the line of scrimmage and the ball, the faster things happen. And, you know, there was a couple plays where he was just, you know, just a little bit off. And I think each week you're going to see him get better and better and better. He's a guy that really learns well through practice reps. You know, you just see continual improvement out of him day to day during the week in preparation for a game. And I think what you'll see during the season is improvement week to week in his performance on game day. But I love his athleticism. I love his intelligence, his football intelligence. I love the fact that he's played a lot of games, you know, and been successful.
Jim, Durante, as you mentioned in his press conference, also is very outspoken. And, you know, among the things he kind of called out, you know, guys, younger guys from the penalties. Are you okay with a veteran doing that publicly, or is that something that you maybe tell him, let's keep that in-house?
I didn't see that, so I don't know exactly what he said. I think in general, as a general rule, the best thing you can do, that I've learned, because I've made the mistake several times, is to keep it in-house. But I also understand that in the heat of the moment, sometimes, you know, young guys might say something. Maybe I need to go look, talk to them about it, and just say, hey, you know, let's keep it in here. Let's not let the emotions get the best of us. This is still a learning ground for these guys, you know, college. I mean, even they got to go to class after practice. They got to go learn. They got to learn when they're here, you know, in this building. So I'd rather it be kept in-house. And if it is something said outwardly, I'd like it to try to be as constructive as possible. But when the doors are closed and it's just, us in here in the sanctity of the core, then we have to be able to speak freely and speak honestly and have hard conversations with each other. So.
You mentioned being here 21 months. What in that time have you sensed about the state and the fan base's potential to be even more engaged as you?
If you win, it's like if you build it, they will come. If you win, if you play good football, if it's exciting, if it's worth their time, if you make it worth their time, they're going to come. They're going to invest. I think you see that, firsthand in basketball. I mean, our basketball team plays exciting basketball. They play with great energy. They win. They play connected. So people want to be in that environment, and we need to be able to do the same thing in football. Now we don't get as many chances at home, so we have less room for error. We can't have a game at home where we don't play well, or even on the road, because people are going to watch the game and God, I want to go see these guys next week. So I think it's like a lot of fan bases, if you play well, if you make it worth their while to invest their time and their money, then they're going to show up and they're going to be passionate about it, and I appreciate that. I appreciate everyone that's in that stadium, and I feel like we owe them. So it's kind of like everywhere, you win, they'll show up. Maybe not everywhere. There's some places where they just show up, But I like our fans. Kathy and I, we love living here. We try to just dive in, and embrace everything about this state, and it's fun, It's fun.
Is there a particular venue or atmosphere that stands out to you as like the coolest, most vibrant scene, either as a young fan or as a coach over the years?
Oh yeah, Kansas City. When you go into Arrowhead, that's insanity. Lambeau, complete insanity.
How about the college level?
USC, UCLA, no matter where it's played, complete insanity. I'm trying to think of some other games that were Texas A&M, 12th man. They got 20,000, 40,000 on Friday nights in there practicing chants and stuff, and then game day. It's tough. LA, when I was a player, played at LSU. Washington played at LSU. And we were ranked number 2 in the country when we went there. And buses pull up, and they start rocking our buses, the fans. They're rocking our buses. Okay, the bus doors open. They got a narrow alleyway about this wide that you can walk through, and fans on both sides, and you have to get to your locker room, and they're right in your face, Tiger bait, Tiger bait, Tiger bait, Tiger bait. And Mike the Tiger is sitting right outside your locker room. They're poking him, and he's roaring. And then you go out on the field, and the sun sets. You got that orange sky, and the stands go straight up. It's almost like their fans have to be in seatbelts so they don't fall onto the field. It was suffocating. That was probably the one. That and Candlestick. Or not Candlestick, Arrowhead. Those are the ones in Lambeau. So.
Jim, you've talked about how your team gets excited when the fans are there. Did you notice the reverse on the first drive? You went for it, got the touchdown, and actually your team got the fans into the game.
Yeah, but that's what we got to do. We got to depend on each other. The fans and the players, we got to depend on each other, and I felt like that happened. Where we let them down, is that then. We always talk about this on defense, is we got to go back up our offense. Our offense goes down and scores. We got to get a stop. We got some momentum. We got our fans going, and nothing is worse than a quarterback scrambling and getting out for first downs. It's just like deflating on defense, and it's deflating for the fans. So, we should have, if we could have captured that, and coulda, woulda, shoulda, but if we could have captured that momentum on the first drive on defense and gotten a big stop on third down, or gotten a sack, man, the place would have just, it would have been crazy. Or at the end of the game, if we'd have had a chance to kick a field goal there, and get it within 7. And, we were fighting. We were fighting to try to get it to a one-score game. And I think I told you this after the game. Our objective there was to get in a field goal range because the clock was running down. We had 2 timeouts and kick one. And then onside kick and go down and try to score. But, I think if there was one thing that not disappointing, but because I understand it. It's the fourth quarter. It's a 10-point game. You might lose a little interest, But if we can come into games and get in that situation and come back and make it exciting and win at the end of a game like that, then people won't leave. They'll stay there. They'll say, hey, they've done it before. Let's go see them do it again. That's what I want. That's what I want us to do as a team. Keep them in their seats.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Hey, thanks everybody. Have a great day.
Noah Plack and Brett Buck.